Hi everyone, it's me, B at Cali Sunflower. So I'm on today to do a hashtag that was created by the lovely Nova at Nova Mundane Tarot. The hashtag is called Readers Mass Market Must-Haves. And I think Nova was saying that they have to be in print as well, which I found quite difficult because a lot of the decks that I use mass market are actually out of print. So this hashtag was a bit challenging for me, but I've tried my best. So this hashtag has 11 prompts or questions. So prompt number 1, best for practical, mundane, everyday matters. And for this prompt, I've chosen the Housewife Tarot. This was my very first tarot deck that started me down the rabbit hole of collecting. For me, this deck is quite practical. It's based on the 1950s housewife. It's got quite a nice little guidebook and it's quite a fun, quirky deck. And the reason why I chose this deck is because I spend a lot of time at home. I've got a lot of conditions that keep me at home. I work from home. I just spend a lot of time at home. So this deck kind of reflects my life. I also like the 1950s era, and I've got like a lot of 1950s gadgets in my house as well. So I think this deck kind of sums up my practical, mundane, everyday life. I also spend a lot of time in my kitchen because I like cooking. I like to cook from scratch. I cook by eye, so I don't really follow recipe books. That's how I learned to cook. And yeah, this deck really does kind of represent my mundane life or my everyday life. When I first got this deck, I thought it was like a gimmick deck, but it actually is a very good reader. I like the fact that the back of them is very similar to like a tablecloth. I love that the box is like a recipe box, and it's just for me, beautiful deck. Another deck that I thought would be quite good for prompt 1 is called the Real Talk Tarot, Mystical Answers for the Chaotic World. This is kind of like a modern kind of tarot deck, and again it represents my world, which is quite chaotic and stuff. It's also quite fun, very modern. This High Priestess is doing yoga, which I've been doing quite a lot of. It's just a nice little everyday quirky deck. Look at the Hierophant card. It says feet on earth, mind on heaven. It's very modern, bit quirky. So prompt 2 is the best for love and relationship readings, and I've got 2 decks for this. The first deck is a oracle deck. It's called the Lover's Oracle, and it's a heart-shaped deck. It's got quite nice pictures, and at the back it's got, you know, just some text. So, secret admirer, someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. Soulmate. I kind of read this deck in like a 9-card spread, and then I use other decks to clarify, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Healing. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. I just think it's a really nice kind of cutesy deck. Romance, Cupid Arrow Strikes. And the archetypes, even though they're kind of like glossy, they look like they could have been originally hand drawn. Sacred Union. Just show you a couple more. Balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. It's got the yin and the yang there. And I'll just use this card as the final card. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. And I like to pair this oracle deck with Cute Little Lenormand. I think that this might be the indie version, but the mass market one is very similar. Let me just see. I think this is the indie version. The mass market version comes at the side of this, but they're very, very similar. So I like Lenormand decks for clarity. To me, they give very predictive readings. This is a very kind of cutesy Lenormand. It's kind of pinky, clear reader. And I think it works. This particular deck works well for love readings. So I do like to pair it up with the oracle that I've just shown you if I'm using mass market decks. Very easy to read. I like the fact that they've got playing card associations on there. So upside down. And the guidebook, you know, it's got a lot of information on there. It's really written well. Like, I'd say it's very beginner friendly as well. Gives you the card meanings, key themes, the overview. So for each card, for example now, let's have a look at the clover. It gives you the key theme, a stroke of good luck, a small victory. It gives you an overview. It tells you about the clover in a reading. It gives you sister cards, positive combinations and negative combinations, and questions to ask the clover card as well. So it's quite a good detailed little book, and the cards are also good, in my opinion, for love readings. Okay, so the next prompt is best for shadow work. So usually my shadow decks are normally kind of like uplifting, because I like to have kind of like uplifting decks if I'm working with my shadow self. But this is a new deck to my collection. It's called the Chimera Tarot. And I think this would be quite a good shadow deck. It's quite dark, by Wiser Books. Comes with a nice little guidebook. The cards have like really nice gold gilding. And this deck has got like a lot of faces. It's kind of like black and white. Let's put this down a bit. And the faces just look kind of sad. It's back of the cards. I'd say it's more of a sepia than a black and white deck. But all the archetypes have got kind of like sad faces. And they look like they're deep in thought. And I think this would just be a good deck to work on shadow aspects of my life. It's kind of Rider-Waite inspired, but some of the cards also deviate. The cards are like a nice linen feel. And it's just, I think it'd be a perfect deck for shadow work. The Devil card. The Tower. It's like someone's head stuck in the tower there. The Seven of Wands. Got the Three of Swords. See the little arrows there. So prompt 4 is best for career and life path readings. I don't actually do life path readings, so I've just brought out a couple of decks that I would use for career readings. Got the guidebook in the box which you can pull out, and the cards are in here. These cards have got just like one kind of keyword, but I like at the back. As I tap into my inner knowledge, I attract prosperity, opportunities that align perfectly with my desires. The Marketer. Every day I attract individuals who are seeking precisely what I offer. The Strategist. Every step I take and decide, I make it divinely guided to serve my greatest good. Storyteller. The more I put my ideas into creation, the more opportunities I attract to build lasting wealth. The Roadie. Serving is a privilege. Every time I do so, I'm further aligned with my soul's purpose. The Counselor. The energy I give returns tenfold. And it's got quite a lot of different sort of like careers. So you've got the conjurer, the pole artist, the skateboarder, the tattooist, the creator. And how I use these cards, I normally take a significator card depending on what sort of career the person's got, and then I use Lenormand cards to do my readings. Let's get more clarity. These are the Lenormand cards that I like to use for career readings. Okay, so they're quite large. They're called the Lunar Nomad Oracle. They've actually got extra cards, which are here, which I keep out. It comes with a nice little guidebook as well. That gives you the meanings to all the cards. And the cards are kind of like oracle size. Well, they are oracle size actually. It is an oracle, but to me, I've made it into 36 cards, and I read it as Lenormand. So you've got the Rider, the Clover, the Ship, the House, the Trees, the Clouds, Snake, coffin. This is the skull there. The bouquet. The shears, which would be the scythe in a regular kind of Lenormand deck. The whip. The birds. The child, and you can see two, like a male and female child there. The fox. The bear. The stars, like the starfish. The stork. The dog. The tower. The garden. The mountains. The pathway or the crossroads. Mice. The heart. Look at all the bees around the heart. The ring. The book. The letter. The man. The woman. I think the deck's got a choice of man and woman cards, and I think if I'm correct, it's a 44 card deck. I've just taken out the Lenormand cards, and I do use it just as a Lenormand deck, and it's really good for career readings. I don't know why. Got the key, the fish, the anchor, and the cross. And then if I want a further reading, I will use a mini deck, anyone that I'm probably using for that month. We're going to have to go back to prompt 3, which is best for shadow work. I forgot to show this deck here, which is an oracle deck. It's called the Naughty Oracle by Naomi Beth. I do like this sort of deck more for a shadow deck. I like uplifting decks when I'm dealing with my shadow self. This one's a bit bowed. So, Angel Monarchy, move away from control. It's kind of bright and fun. Arsehole Ancestor, time for ancestral clearing. Bitchy Witchy, connect to Mother Earth. Black Hole Sucks, don't let darkness hold you back. Boogeyman Bullshit, release your fears. Cat Shat, connect to your psychic sight. Clusterfuck of fairies, time to calm the chaos. Cracked crystal, time to heal yourself. Dead dingo donga, time for emotional healing. So it's like a really fun, uplifting deck, even though it is kind of shadowy. Devil in Drag, identity crisis. Dickweed Death, new beginnings are needed. Double-fronged Egna penis, lighten up. Dragon load of dent shit, time for an energy clearing. So that's probably why they call it the Naughty Oracle, because it's got quite a few naughty words in there. I also like this book for Lenormand readings. It's called Beyond the Fear Lenormand Oracle. So it's understanding negative Lenormand cards. What I find that if I'm in a shadow kind of state and I'm reading Lenormand cards, I don't like to see negative ones. And this book kind of gives you the softer side to negative cards. So this is a book that I like to read when I'm doing Lenormand readings about my shadow self, so that I can have more softer interpretations of the cards. So prompt 5 is best for healing and emotional energy, and I've got 2 decks for this one as well. The first deck is called the Cook's Tarot by Judith McKay Skirt. I think the creator was born in Jamaica, and she was influenced by a lot of the Jamaican spicy foods. Comes with a nice 2-part box and quite a nice guidebook. But I really like cooking, and I find food quite healing. So that's why a food deck for me would be quite good for healing and emotional recovery. These are the backs of the decks. Nice green. Let's put it down a bit. The cards are slightly bigger than an average tarot card. They're more oracle size. But look at that. It's just a really cheerful kind of deck. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of the Everyday Enchantment Tarot, some of the artwork. But I think this deck is probably influenced by Jamaica. And I do find the sun quite healing. And I do like spicy food, so that's why, yeah, this deck is a healing deck for me. All the chocolate cakes, cooking fish. The guidebook has got like black and white illustrations, but it gives you like the zodiac affinity, key elements, and sound clashes, card meanings, and it gives you kitchen wisdom. It's quite a nice deck if you like me and you like the kitchen and you like cooking. Another healing deck for me is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle by Jill Powell. I like the guidebook of this deck as well. Even the colours, you know, at the backs of the cards are quite healing, you know, like lavenders, pinks and those sort of colours. So you've got like abundance planning, this is keywords, alone time, aromatherapy. So it's just kind of things that you can do that will, you know, keep you uplifted, being still, beauty rituals. And if you look at the little book that comes with it, so if I go to card number 5, which is beauty rituals, it gives you some really nice tips. Mantra: I am beautiful inside and out. Whatever makes you feel like you're manifesting your most beautiful self is worth putting energy towards. Plan a beauty ritual that feels sacred and indulgent. Set an intention for your ritual and stay in a mindful state throughout the experience. If other thoughts and distractions enter your awareness, gently let them go and redirect your focus to yourself. By being intentional, you can turn a face mask, the application of makeup, or even something as simple as your daily shower into a sacred experience. Beyond that, look for ways you can create the time and space to have that special beauty treatment. Consider how you can adorn your body to express your unique existence. For example, dye your hair a funky colour, wear new jewellery, or perhaps get a tattoo, and it gives you a journal prompt. What can you do to make your daily beauty routine feel more sacred? So I think it's a really good oracle to work with. You know, burn a bowl ritual, clean your space. It just gives you some really good ideas. Love it. Connect with your crystals, connect with fire, connect with earth. It's just a really nice deck. So another deck that I would use for prompt 5, which is healing and emotional recovery, is called the Sock Monkey Oracle. I think this is an American thing with sock monkeys, where you bring them to people in hospital, which I didn't know because I don't do that in the UK. I've had a lot of hospital visits recently, all sorts of different diagnoses, and because this deck is supposed to be about recovery from health, I think it'll be a good deck to work for emotional healing. So each card's got a keyword. Unload. Look at the backs of the cards, aren't they beautiful? Speak no bad stuff. Sweetheart. Tea time. Holiday spirit. Friends. And then if I read you a chapter from this guidebook, so for example card 17, friends come in all shapes and sizes, from the bunny, polar bear and snowman of distant lands to the monkeys made of sockies closer to home. You have chosen a loving, loyal, supportive and trustworthy circle of friends. Your buddies are there for you through thick and threadbare. They lift you up and also call you on your stuff when necessary. Are they always calling out to you before you call them? Reach out to them and let them know how much they mean to you. Show your support in return. Maintaining loving friendships just plain feels good. It also reduces stress, boosts the immune system and increases your sense of belonging. And when it's got here symbolic foracles, fun, love, support, belongings, reality check, affirmation. I love that I maintain loving friendships. So for each card, it's got an affirmation and it's just got, you know, appreciation for the keywords. I've been pulling this deck actually every day for my daily pulls. But it is quite a nice deck, I think, for somebody that's going through healing. So prompt 6 is best for decision making and gaining clarity. And I like to use a Lenormand for that, because I just think that Lenormands give very predictive readings, and they're also good for clarifying tarot readings that might not give you a straight answer or straight advice. And I like this one, which is called the Grand Tableau Lenormand, because it's just plain. It's got nice playing card archetypes, which I use if my cards come reversed. If my cards come reversed, then I will use the playing card association to define the card, like that one. It's upside down. But it's a very nice, clear deck. And to me, it's a very clear reader. Gives a lot of clarity. And it's also quite a pretty deck as well. It's not fussy. And it's lovely. Got quite a lot of reversal cards. Oh dear, they're a bit slippery. So prompt 7 is best for daily guidance or daily pull. And I like this deck here called Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle by Amanda Lovelace. I just love this deck. It's just fabulous. The oracle size cards, it comes with a beautiful guidebook that gives you further information for each card. They're numbered and it's got one keyword and then there's an explanation. I like it when oracle decks are numbered, because that way you find it easy to find it in the guidebook. Sometimes they don't number the cards and it's quite difficult to find in the guidebook. So this one says, morning, the world awaits you. Mirror, treat your body like the place it is. And most of the archetypes are full-figured, which I like as well, because I'm quite full-figured myself. So I'll just read out what it says for the mirror card in the guidebook. Mirror, treat your body like the place it is. You've been feeling self-conscious as of late, but the answer isn't to change anything but yourself. The answer is to learn to love the body you've been given. Avoid these crash diets, that extreme exercise, or any other unhealthy behaviour. Take strides towards a healthy mindset that accepts yourself as you are and not what you feel pressured to be. So it's a very uplifting deck, and I think it's just very good for daily pause. Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, no salt. Protest starts a revolution. Lighthouse, don't doubt your worth. It's just got really nice positive affirmations. I am always enough. Spaceship, don't be afraid to sing. Villain, you can always rewrite the story. I love this one. Basic Witch, she's got the cauldron there, nice bedroom. Remember to practice self-love. Loneliness, you've earned all your stripes. So it's a very positive deck. Number 8, best for beginnings, something practical, easy to use, yet a bit extra. I've chosen Your First Tarot by Victoria Maxwell. It comes with a little book, but then you can also buy the larger book as well, which gives more explanation, which is good to me for a beginner. We'll go through the book in a minute. So it's Rider-Waite-Smith inspired. It's lovely colour, and it's got like keywords. So the 4, beginnings, leap of faith, innocence and trust. Got the backs, I think they're gorgeous. The Magician, power, magic, ritual, manifestation. And if you're a person that doesn't like brilliant white background, I think this kind of cream background works well. The High Priestess, institution, divine, feminine, mysteries. So I think a beginner person would benefit from this deck because it's Rider-Waite-Smith imagery and it's got keywords. So let's go to some of the minor arcanas. So for the 7 of Wands, perseverance, persistence, holding ground. The 8 of Wands, alignment, swift action, fast movement. It's just got lovely keywords, so that if you are a beginner, you've got those keywords there to help you along. Let's have a look at the guidebooks. So this is an extra, I think this is about £10, this book, but it's got a lovely kind of content page. It's a Rockpool publication. Gives you a bit of history behind the tarot. It's got the tarot system. Gives you some background reading, keeping a tarot journal, storing your tarot deck, etc, etc. But if you look at the card meanings, so if you compare this to a little white book, it's a lot more information. So the little white book, it talks about the 4. It gives you empowering meanings, reverse meanings and affirmations. I trust my journey. I trust that the universe will always guide me and catch me when I fall. But the guidebook that comes separately, it's got a lot more information for a beginner. So it gives you like a basic meaning. It gives you correspondence. So cholesterol, body, sun sign, Uranus, element air, and it gives you what crystal is good for the fall. So clear quartz. It gives you the herb, which is cedar, onion and lemon. And when it talks about the imagery, it gives you empowering meanings. It talks about reversed meanings, inquiry questions. What is the leap? Am I being called to take? How can I be more free-spirited? And these are things that you can put in your journal. Affirmations. I trust my journey. I trust that the universe will always guide me and catch me if I fall. That's in the little book, and it's got a ritual. Go outside or visualize and lift your face towards the sun. Feel the rays lightening your heart and spirit. So I think together with the tarot deck, I do think that this deck is very good for beginners. It's practical and it's easy to read, and then this is an extra thing that you can buy to complement the deck. So prompt 9 is best for intuitive free flow style reading. This is a very intuitive deck to me because it's got like a sepia background, kind of biggish font. I can read this deck with my eyes closed. You know, it gives really intuitive hits for me. I also like the kind of colour palette. It's just a really lovely deck to read with. Look, it's beautiful. I think this question though is kind of subjective because everyone's got different definitions on what they call intuitive, but for me this deck does spark my intuition. I find that I do deep readings with this deck and I do use it. This is more of a summer deck for me though. Okay, so the next prompt, which is prompt 10, is best for taking to parties for fun, engaging readings. So I've chosen the Tarot of Pregnancy, even though I'm menopausal, because a lot of my friends have been inviting me to baby grandparent showers for their daughters or sons, and people talk about pregnancy and babies and all that sort of stuff. These are the parties that I've been going to recently, grandparent baby showers, where my friends get together to help their children get the baby stuff. They normally have a list and we bring what they ask. And I think this deck is a nice deck because it's supposed to be around pregnancy. There is an extra guidebook for it, but I can't find it. It's somewhere on my bookshelf. But it gives really good readings for that sort of occasion, and most of the archetypes are kind of pregnant in some way or other. So the Eight of Cups, somebody walking away from the clinic. Let's have a look at the Eight of Cups actually and see what the guidebook says. But there is a bigger book to this as well. Walking away once and for all. Messages being louder, breaking off ties with someone, leaving behind an old way of being, ending with accountability and right relationship. A young pregnant woman, 8 months into her pregnancy, making the hard but ultimate right choice to walk away from a care provider relationship that wasn't aligned. They ignored the red flags back in their early appointments. They brushed off how their care provider tried to give lip service to being natural, birth friendly, and then started talking about scheduling and induction if they gestated beyond 40 weeks. They ignored how brief and impersonal their perinatal visits were, where they didn't feel safe or heard. They ignored how their care provider never asked for consent before putting hands on them. That there was a million little things that just didn't feel right that was brushed aside earlier on in pregnancy. Even though it gives you like a Rider-Waite-Smith feeling, which is walking away from things that don't serve you and stuff, I guess in this card the person's walking away from clinic, and it looks like she might decide to have a home birth. So each of the cards are kind of related to pregnancy. The Hierophant looks like antenatal kind of meditation. The Lover's card, you know, this person looks like they're kind of embracing or connecting to their pregnant bodies. It's just a deck that I will bring to a grandparent baby shower, and I've been going to quite a bit. This deck's not for everyone though, but for me it kind of works. And the final question is, best for reading for people who are scared of tarot and stroke hug deck. So I've chosen 2 decks. I've chosen one for people that are scared of tarot and one as a hug deck. So this deck here, the Simplicity Tarot by Emily Malthus, I think will be good for someone who is scared of tarot, because it's got a softer kind of colour palette. The artwork's quite simple and it's got keywords as well. It's kind of modern-ish looking, so I think this would appeal to someone who finds tarot quite harsh. It's got simple archetypes and keywords. Soft colour palette. Guidebook has got simple explanations, but I think the actual artwork would help somebody who's a bit shy of tarot, because I think it's quite subtle colour palettes, and I think the keywords as well will give people understanding. Because sometimes if you just look at the pictures and there's no keywords and don't know tarot, it can be a bit off-putting, but if there's keywords there, I think it would help a shy person, or a person shy to tarot. One of my hug decks is called the Radiant Wilds Tarot. I think it's because of the colour palette. It's kind of orange and kind of very kind of Leo. I've used this card quite a bit. Can you see the edges are kind of like scuffing? It's kind of a bit bowed as well. But orange is a good colour for me. It puts me in a good mood. It reminds me of the sun and all that. And I think it's just the colour palette of this deck. I find it quite soothing to work with. I love the archetypes. It's just a nice colour palette. Loads of orange, which makes me happy. And it's very calming. Rider-Waite inspired. And the guidebook is kind of like a buttery feel, and it's colour, and it's just a nice deck, you know, nice feeling, and I can't praise it enough. So thank you, Nova, for creating such a beautiful hashtag. Nova did recommend that people also tag people into this hashtag, so I've got 4 people that I'd like to tag. I'd love to see their decks and stuff, to the prompts, or answers to the prompts. The first one is called MZ, and her handle is Mystic MZ. Then Julie from the Peekable Rose channel, Heather from Suits and Shadows, I think that's the name of her new channel, and then Carol from Practical Mystic Carol. I will hashtag them into the description bar. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.